50 Cent and Rick Ross have been at each other's throats for close to 2 decades. And now the beef between T.I.'s son King Harris and 50 Cent has given Rick Ross a new opening to take shots at his old rival. The collision of these feuds, old and new, has set tongues wagging on the internet, with people picking sides and waiting to see what happens next. So let's break down how Rick Ross stepping into King Harris's corner sent this whole situation to another level. Before Rick Ross got involved, before King Harris started releasing diss tracks, and before T.I.'s entire family mobilized against 50 Cent, there was a Verzuz conversation. That is where this story begins, and that is what lit the match that turned into a wildfire, that now involves multiple generations of hip-hop figures. At the center of the dispute is a proposed Verzuz battle. T.I. publicly challenged 50 Cent to a hit-for-hit showdown, claiming in recent interviews, including an appearance on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, that 50 privately agreed before retreating once the request became public. This was not some random challenge either. T.I. wasn't just throwing out a fun matchup. He was calling for a real ATL vs NYC moment, and he made it loud. The history of this particular challenge goes back years. Back in 2020, T.I. put the challenge out via an Instagram video, aimed at Fifth on his birthday, basically saying, "Yo, pull up with 20 and let's see what's up." 50 did what 50 does. He didn't accept, he clowned it. He responded on X at the time, joking that someone must have passed T.I. some bad weed. That was the tone 50 set from the start. He was not going to treat this challenge with any respect. T.I. did not let up. At the BMF premiere event, Tip calls 50 out on stage and tries to pressure him into doing it for the people. Still, 50 refused, and T.I. stayed consistent with his position that 50 was ducking the battle. Then February 2026 arrived, and T.I. went on a press run. On February 6, 2026, T.I. goes on Nightcap Live, Shannon Sharp and Chad Okosinko's show, and says he wanted 50 for Verzuz and that 50 don't want no smoke. He also appeared on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast with Jilly the Kid and Wallow, and that is where things escalated. T.I. initially suggested on $1 Million Worth of Game that the two had agreed on a Verzuz battle, with the idea being that Tip would reveal the news. He claimed on the pod that 50 went back on the plan, playing dumb when the What You Know rapper shared the news. T.I. was done being cordial about the situation. He said he no longer had any interest in standing on a stage with 50 Cent. He said, "When I jumped out there, he act like he ain't know what the K was going on." He added, "Just say you don't want to do it. All this other extra lame ass shit, man, this shit goofy," before confirming the Verzuz between the two would never take place. "I have no interest in standing on stage with him. I don't respect him." Those words, "I don't respect him," were the ones that landed. When a rapper of T.I.'s stature says that about someone like 50 Cent in a public setting, the dynamics change. This was no longer a friendly call-out. This was a line in the sand. And 50 Cent responded exactly how everyone expected. Not with music, not with a calm rebuttal. 50 Cent fired back on Instagram with jokes and memes rather than engaging lyrically. He posted old clips tied to T.I.'s legal history, including references to a 2008 situation involving cooperating with authorities. Initial Instagram memes and jokes escalated after 50 Cent labeled T.I. a rat, in reference to old rumors. T.I. fired back on X, saying he didn't fear his past and pointing to his music. Then things took a turn that nobody anticipated. After Tip's comments, 50 posts an unflattering photo of Tiny, with a caption basically warning Tip to keep his name out his mouth. This is the pivot where it stops being rap debate and turns personal. That photo of Tiny Harris, T.I.'s wife, a member of the legendary group Xscape, changed the entire nature of this conflict. 50 Cent posted an unflattering photo of Tamika Tiny Harris on social media during his ongoing feud with her husband. He captioned it with a remark telling T.I. to keep his name out of his mouth, which many people saw as mocking or disrespectful toward Tiny. In hip-hop, there are unspoken rules about who you bring into a conflict. In rap culture, targeting someone's spouse is often viewed as the ultimate violation of respect, and 50 Cent did not care about that boundary. He posted the photo, tagged it, and moved on with his day. But the Harris household was not about to let that slide. That photo set off a chain of events that would bring T.I.'s children into the conflict, and eventually bring Rick Ross back into direct opposition with 50 Cent. When 50 Cent posted that photo of Tiny Harris, he probably expected a response from T.I. What he got instead was an entire family coming for him, and leading the charge was King Harris. At just 21 years old, King Harris has made it clear he's not interested in playing the background. After 50 shared an unflattering image of King's mother, Tiny Harris, online, the young rapper responded the way this generation knows best, with music and venom. King did not wait for his father to handle it. He did not wait for a family meeting. He went straight to social media with a message for 50 Cent. King Harris took to Instagram in defense of his mother with several posts, pointing out 50's prior beefs, the aftermath of his 2000 shooting, previous accusations of domestic violence, and more. In a longer post, King wrote, "The list of people he's disrespected over the years is endless." He continued, "He came into the game creating unnecessary controversy, and damn near 30 years later, he's still the same attention whore." King was not being subtle. He was laying out a case against 50 Cent's character, and he was doing it in front of millions of people on Instagram. But King was not finished with words. He took it further. King's first diss track, "Made Man," arrived with a direct warning. Over a hard-hitting beat, King made his stance clear, mentioning his mother was a line that should never have been crossed. That was the first track. And then came the second one. If "Made Man" was a warning shot, his follow-up track, "Stalemate," was a full-on detonation. On the second record, King escalated the feud dramatically, referencing 50's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, who tragically died in a fire when the rapper was a child. Now, what King did next is the part that shocked the internet. In a video for the track, titled "Stalemate," King wears a black t-shirt with a picture of 50 Cent's deceased mom, Sabrina Jackson, on the front. That was not a metaphor. That was not an indirect reference. King Harris literally printed a photo of 50 Cent's late mother on a t-shirt and wore it in the music video. And it went further than that. As he raps the song, Harris lights up a blunt and even tries to pass it to the photo of 50's late mom. That was a provocation on a level that most rap beefs do not reach. King Harris, a 21-year-old, was going at a 50-year-old media mogul with no boundaries and no hesitation. Before the track dropped, King shared the photo on his Instagram story. He tagged 50 Cent, jokingly asking him about his late mom's gender. "This your mama or pops 50 Cent?" That post circulated across hip-hop media within minutes. Meanwhile, T.I. was not sitting idle either. T.I. released multiple diss tracks: "War," "Right One," "What a Bully," while 50 Cent retaliated with now-deleted Instagram posts mocking T.I.'s wife and son. T.I. also did something that many caught as a calculated jab. He posted a happy birthday message to his mother, writing, "My biggest flex is being able to protect my mama till I could provide her a better life. Happy birthday, mama." Given that 50 Cent's mother passed when he was young, this was seen as a pointed remark. Then T.I.'s other son, Damani, entered the picture. The 24-year-old rapper dropped his diss track, "Ms. Jackson," which uses J. Cole's "Poor Thang" beat and samples Outkast's timeless classic. The approach from Damani was different from King's. Damani's approach differs from King's pure aggression. Instead of raw fury, he frames the track as a letter addressed to Sabrina Jackson. In his opening lines, he questions whether she would be proud of the man her son has become, a calculated psychological angle rather than a purely emotional outburst. Fans called Damani's "Ms. Jackson" heartfelt and vicious, noting it may be the most calculated diss from the family. The cover art for Damani's track was also notable. The track's cover art showed a burning house, referencing long-standing unproven rumors about 50 Cent and a suspicious fire in 2008. So by this point, 50 Cent was dealing with T.I. dropping 4 diss tracks, King Harris dropping 2 diss tracks, and Damani dropping one of his own. Despite T.I. dropping 4 50 Cent diss tracks, along with Tip's other son, Damani, joining in the barrage of attack songs, 50 has not returned the favor and delivered his own response track to the Harris family. In 50's response, he wrote on Instagram, "To entertain is to provoke emotions. Love me or hate me, it's cool. Just care enough to feel some kind of way. Tomorrow's gonna be a slow news day or y'all can just make some stuff up. I'm busy, LOL." Later, 50 Cent added, almost certainly joking, "I'm out of here. You guys hurt my feelings." 50 Cent was treating the whole thing like entertainment. He did not appear affected. He did not make a diss track. He kept it to Instagram posts and dismissive comments. And that was the state of things when Rick Ross decided to get involved. Now, if you know hip-hop history, you know that Rick Ross and 50 Cent have one of the longest-running feuds in the genre's history. So when Ross saw an opportunity to take a shot at 50 through King Harris, he took it without hesitation. Rick Ross just added fuel to the ongoing rap tension, stepping in with a public cosign for King Harris. As his back and forth with 50 Cent keeps heating up, here's what happened. When King Harris posted the promotional video for "Stalemate" on Instagram, the one where he is wearing the t-shirt with 50 Cent's late mother's photo on it, Rick Ross entered the chat. "Need that T and 3X Lil bro," Ross wrote under the post. Let that sit for a moment. Rick Ross, a man who has been feuding with 50 Cent since 2008, saw a 21-year-old wearing a t-shirt with 50 Cent's deceased mother on it, and asked for one in his size. King wasted no time replying in the comments, keeping the energy aligned with the bold rollout of his track. Harris responded back, "I got P emoji," along with a salute emoji, but the t-shirt comment was not Ross's first move in this beef. Ross's recent t-shirt request to Harris isn't the first time. The too good to be true artist has spoken out amid T.I. and 50 Cent's larger feud. Earlier this week, he encouraged his fans to stream Tip's latest Fifth-focused diss track. When T.I. dropped his music aimed at 50, Ross said, "That's it on fire. That's it hot. I fuck with that." Ross was not just being a passive observer. He was actively promoting the opposition against 50 Cent. He was co-signing T.I.'s diss tracks and co-signing King Harris's diss tracks. He was making it clear that, as far as he was concerned, anyone going at 50 Cent had his support. And in King Harris's track Sailors, King mentions Rick Ross directly, rapping that 50 knew he couldn't fuck with Rick Ross musically, so he resorted to making skits. King also referenced that 50 got outsold and embarrassed by Kanye West on his third album. Those are specific historical references designed to undermine 50 Cent's legacy, and they landed with Rick Ross's stamp of approval. 50 Cent has not commented on Rick Ross's entry into the beef between T.I. and the rest of the Harris family and himself as of the writing of this article. That silence is notable. 50 Cent, the man who built a reputation on responding to everyone and anyone who comes at him, said nothing about Ross jumping in. Whether that is strategy or indifference, it sent a message to everyone watching. Now the question everyone started asking was, why did Ross get involved? It is unclear at the moment what prompted Rick Ross to jump in on the 50 Cent and T.I. beef, although Ross and Cent have their own differences, and those differences run deep. They go back almost 2 decades, and they involve diss tracks, sex tapes, baby mamas, legal battles, and millions of dollars. To understand why Rick Ross jumped at the chance to side with King Harris, you have to understand the history between Ross and 50. The beef between Rick Ross and 50 Cent is one of the most personal and drawn-out feuds in hip-hop history. It started around 2008 and it has not stopped since. The animosity reportedly began at the 2008 BET Hip Hop Awards, where Ross felt slighted by 50's demeanor towards him. 50 Cent, however, claimed he didn't recall any interaction with Ross at the event. From there, it escalated fast. Rick Ross released Mafia Music, a track containing lines that seemingly targeted 50 Cent's personal life, notably referencing his child support issues. Of course, 50 fired back, suggesting that he was determined to ruin Ross's career. 50 Cent did not respond with just music. He went after Ross's personal life in a way that few rappers had ever done. 50 Cent released an interview with Tia, the mother of Rick Ross's son. The first half of the video is an interview with Tia, who brings further light to Ross's fraudulent lifestyle, speaks about his correctional officer past, and attacks his character. In the second half, 50 takes Tia on a shopping spree. That interview with Tia Kemp was a moment in hip-hop beef that nobody had seen before. 50 Cent sat down with the mother of his rival's child, let her air out all of Rick Ross's personal business, and then took her shopping on camera. It was psychological warfare at its peak, and it became one of the defining moments of the feud. The backstory of how 50 and Tia connected is itself telling. Rick Ross repossessed a Range Rover from Tia Kemp, leaving her and their son without a vehicle, until, you guessed it, 50 Cent stepped in. 50 used Ross's own family dynamics against him. That same year, the rapper interviewed Kemp, spoiled her with a shopping spree, and took her and her son to meet Floyd Mayweather Jr. The pair was also featured together in a provocative photo on the cover of Smooth. 50 Cent also produced Officer Ricky cartoons that mocked Ross on a weekly basis. 50 Cent responds with a video upload entitled Warning Shot, mentioning that he planned to ruin Ross's life for the fun of it. 50 also released the first Officer Ricky cartoon. He would continue to release them weekly on Saturdays. Tia Kemp also released a tell-all book. In 2009, she published an autobiography, Tia's Diary: Deeper Than Rap, Clarity, Truth, and Exposure. The book heavily critiqued her ex, Rick Ross, and their relationship. It was alleged that 50 Cent had a financial stake in the book's publication. And then came the most controversial act of the entire feud. In a controversial move, 50 leaked a sex tape featuring Lastonia Leviston, the mother of Ross's child. Lastonia eventually filed a lawsuit against 50 over the leaked sex tape, citing severe emotional distress. The legal battle would continue for several years, with the rapper ultimately losing the dispute. The consequences of that sex tape leak were massive. A jury awarded Lastonia $5 million in her lawsuit against 50 for the unauthorized release of her sex tape. This financial setback contributed to 50 filing for bankruptcy later that year. So when we talk about why Rick Ross would jump into a beef with the Harris family against 50 Cent, this is the context. This is not a rivalry where both sides have moved on and occasionally throw shade. This is a rivalry where 50 Cent interviewed Ross's baby mama, took her shopping, released cartoons mocking Ross, leaked a sex tape, lost $5 million in court over it, and filed for bankruptcy. And Ross never forgot any of it. The feud continued into 2025. 50 Cent and Rick Ross have been at odds for years, and Fifth never hesitates to throw jabs at Rose online. Back in March, He mocked Ross after it was announced that he'd be joining the Millennium Tour. "Now cans get quiet when they gotta open for Bow Wow," he wrote at the time. Ross wasted no time firing back and did so by threatening to buy 50 Cent's masters. "50, who own your masters?" he asked. "I'll buy your masters, you better shut up." "I will buy your masters." And in 2024, when Ross was attacked by alleged Drake fans at Vancouver's Ignite Music Festival for requesting Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, 50 didn't miss the opportunity to troll him. He reposted a video where Kemp said, "I'm glad they smacked the shit out your big ass." So this is a beef that has never cooled down. Not for a year, not for a month, possibly not even for a week. And when the opportunity came for Ross to side with King Harris and T.I. against 50 Cent, it was the most predictable move in hip-hop, because the enemy of Rick Ross's enemy is Rick Ross's friend, period. So let's put all of this together. We have a feud that started with a Verzuz conversation, turned into T.I. calling out 50 Cent on multiple platforms, escalated when 50 posted photos of Tiny Harris, exploded when King Harris and Damani Harris released diss tracks referencing 50 Cent's deceased mother, and then reached a new level when Rick Ross publicly co-signed the whole operation. As of right now, 50 Cent has not addressed the Harris family's recent diss tracks. He has not released a song in response. He has not directly acknowledged Rick Ross's involvement. Instead, he has kept his responses confined to Instagram posts that have since been deleted, and dismissive comments about being too busy to care. That is a strategic decision. Despite T.I. releasing diss tracks aimed at him, 50 Cent has not responded with his own music as of late February 2026. Instead, he's kept his responses largely on social media with trolling and dismissive posts. 50 has always been someone who picks his battles. He is a master troll who knows when to engage and when to stay silent. And right now, he seems to be choosing silence, or at least choosing not to engage at the level that the Harris family wants him to. If there's one thing 50 Cent has built his career on, it's psychological warfare. From Ja Rule to Rick Ross, he's made a sport out of public humiliation. But this situation is different from anything 50 has dealt with before. He is not feuding with another rapper on the same level. He is dealing with a family, a father, 2 sons, a daughter, and a wife, who are all coming at him from different angles and with different tools. The entire Harris family has responded. T.I. and Tiny's youngest daughter, Eris, clapped back at 50 Cent with her vocals, after he posted a picture of her mother on his Instagram. The whole family has now dissed 50. That is something 50 has never had to deal with in any previous beef. And now, with Rick Ross publicly co-signing the Harris family's position, 50 Cent is facing an alliance of people who all have their own reasons to go at him. T.I. has the Verzuz situation. King Harris has his mother being disrespected. Damani has his family's honor. And Rick Ross has close to 2 decades of unresolved animosity. This isn't just rap rivals trading bars. It's sons defending their mother and their family name. One thing is certain, this beef has officially moved beyond entertainment and into something far more personal. And in rap, that's when things get dangerous. The viral nature of this feud has been something else entirely. Even South Fulton Police Department humorously acknowledged the feud on Facebook, posting, "We are fully aware that T.I. and 50 Cent are currently engaged in a verbal discrepancy of lyrical proportions outside our jurisdiction." When local police departments are posting about a rap beef, you know it has reached a certain level of cultural penetration. Tiny Harris herself has weighed in on her son stepping up. She wrote on Instagram, "Man, I'm really out here living and breeding something like the next Jackson 5. I have done some commendable things in life, but I promise they're my biggest flex for a lifetime." She is a proud mother watching her children defend her honor, and that pride is adding another layer of fuel to this fire. Now there is an argument to be made that 50 Cent brought all of this on himself. He posted the photo of Tiny. He compared King Harris to Pepe the Frog. He trolled and provoked, and then when the response came, he went quiet. Whether that is strategy or whether the response was more than he expected remains an open question. There is also the matter of Tia Kemp. Her name keeps coming up in discussions around this beef because of her history with both 50 Cent and Rick Ross. During a recent live stream, one commenter questioned why she let 50 Cent trick her into speaking about her ex, Rick Ross. She quickly set the record straight, making it clear that she'll talk about whoever she wants, whenever she wants. Tia Kemp has been a recurring figure in the 50 Cent and Rick Ross feud for years, and her potential involvement in this latest chapter adds yet another possible angle for escalation. What we know for certain is that this beef is not over. T.I. has a new album called Kill the King coming in 2026. King Harris has shown no signs of backing down. Damani has proven he can deliver calculated diss tracks. And Rick Ross has made it clear that he stands with anyone going against 50 Cent. Their back and forth in interviews and social media is the first official rap beef to kick off in 2026, and it's now entangling innocent bystanders. The question is whether 50 Cent will continue to treat this as entertainment, posting and deleting, joking and trolling, or whether something will eventually force him to respond with the same energy that once made him one of the most feared figures in hip-hop. Because right now, he has T.I. dropping diss tracks, King Harris wearing his mother on a t-shirt, Damani writing letters to his deceased mother over Outkast beats, Rick Ross asking for merchandise, and an entire family unified against him. That is a lot of smoke for one man to deal with, even if that man is 50 Cent. And the fact that Rick Ross inserted himself so publicly, not with a diss track of his own, but with a simple Instagram comment asking for a t-shirt, is the kind of move that gets under someone's skin. It says, "I'm watching, I'm entertained, and I'm on their side." It is a cosign that carries weight because of the history behind it. So this is where we are. A Verzuz conversation that turned into a family war that brought in a decade-old rivalry. And the internet is watching every single move. Whether 50 Cent responds or continues to play the "I'm too busy" card, the situation has already been carved into 2026 hip-hop history. And Rick Ross making that comment on King Harris's post. That might be the thing that eventually pulls 50 back into the ring, because if there is one person 50 Cent cannot resist going at, it is Rick Ross. And Ross knows that, which is probably why he did it. We will see what happens next. But if history has taught us anything, it is that when 50 Cent goes quiet, that does not mean he is done. It usually means he is planning. And the people around this beef, T.I., King Harris, Damani, and Rick Ross, might want to remember that. Because 50 Cent has built an entire career on coming back when you least expect it. And when he does not hold back. Stay tuned, this story is far from over.